Welcome to NTR Radio. I'm Tom Porsanubis.
I'm K-Odds.
I'm VZ Mark II.
We got two guests in the studio tonight, Shinden9 and Cupid the Third.
Hey everyone, how's it going? It's been about 2 years since I last did this stuff. It's been a while, so hopefully I don't mess up.
That
Because,
is
oh man.
Cupid the Third.
Yep.
Hi, this is Shinden9. I post on Twitter, and what I do with the rest of my time is none of your goddamn business.
There we go.
and there you have it. So, how's everybody doing?
Not too bad.
Good.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yep, it's hot as shit. I don't know about where all of you are at, but
Oh yeah, it's hot as shit over here too, man.
yeah, there's just no way around it. So, I guess we should talk about what we've been doing since last time.
Sure.
All right.
I'm gonna go right off the bat. I ain't watched shit, so don't ask me what I've watched.
Okay. Well, I'll throw out what I've watched. I've only started Vinland Saga and Danmachi Season 2.
Oh, okay. See, there was another show I thought you were gonna watch, and it's like, oh yeah,
Well,
I forgot.
I'm not completely done. It's just kind of dipping my toes in.
So how are you finding those shows?
Well, Danmachi is more of the same, so
Yeah.
of course it's fun. And Vinland Saga is a little different. It's sort of berserky, and it's not as violent, really, quite, at least not yet.
Mm.
But it still has that kind of vibe to it, where axes in the head and kind of stuff.
Mm.
It's
Wasn't
about
that-
Vikings, so.
Yeah, wasn't that one of the big ones? But here or not?
I honestly don't know. I only watched it based upon a recommendation from a friend. I'm not really as familiar with the source material as they are.
Because I think the big one for this season is Fire Force, which I actually saw an episode for the first time yesterday. They're playing it on
That's about
Toonami.
firefighters and something, right?
Yeah, but the fires are like personified, or they're kind of like, it reminds me. It's like, yeah, it's almost like it's done by the manga that did Soul Eater.
Okay, that gives me a better idea.
Isn't like one of the people from Shaft doing it? Because I've heard there was like a thing that there was some Shaft people on it, apparently.
I don't know.
Does
but
it have
I
like
will-
those weird, like in the background, it has all the surrealism kind of shit going on?
Nah, it just looks like a regular,
I mean,
show.
it's not like Madoka where like you start seeing like moons with mustaches and weird shit. Just kind of what the fuck did I just see?
As far as I'm watching, so again this season, kind of light for my part.
Which
Because
is-
I'm the guy that usually watches a lot of stuff.
Which
that's
is funny because some of my friends are watching a lot of shit.
Yeah, the Oh Maidens in Your Seven Seasons continues to be like, basically, Shinzei Abe's propaganda of breed. Are you breeding?
Yeah,
Breed.
yeah. Like in between frames, they sneak in like one-shot pornographic shots, like so your mind sees it, but
No, it's just like, that thing in Family Guy where it's like smoke.
well, yeah.
That, but it's just his face. Breed.
Like this is like
I'm gonna be real with you, Shinjo Aze. This is not gonna fix the population issue. I know.
no,
It was-
because
yeah.
most people that are watching that probably aren't anyway.
I'm surprised that there wasn't an uproar this episode because, okay, there was a flashback of one of the characters, and basically she was being like kind of hit on by her ballet teacher, and they said lolicon, but they
Okay,
said pedophile.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh yeah.
I just said on Twitter.
I kept
Anyone up
seeing
for
like
round
people.
two?
I kept seeing that on social media being passed around, but I didn't know the context, and I was just like, "What the fuck is this? Why is this? Or not why, but what is this? Like, what is this show, and why is this like being passed around?" And people.
Well, that
finding out
wasn't
about
the
it?
other one. That wasn't the first one. That was a different show. But then we have this show, and this time it's not Funimation's doing it. It's
It was Sentai, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What's the other one? Dumbbell continues to be good. Not Doug Cobo's best, but it's definitely having fun with the fan service with its concept.
Ooh.
I can just see people. I haven't watching the show yet, and I haven't even seen a lot of images from it. But I can see people flexing and doing things like that. That would be just an excuse to do it.
Muscle porn, basically.
Well, I love
it's sponsored by Nugenics.
I love it's actually like being educational. The way Cells at Work it was educational.
Oh, it's like, yeah, this is your bicep. This is your tricep.
Well, it's showing you, if you want to do, lifting, you got to do it this way and not this way.
Muscle weighs more than fat.
Yeah. The other show, the third show I'm watching is Astra Lost in Space, which I'm actually really liking. It's kind of picking up.
That's the one I still need to check out.
Yeah, I definitely recommend that.
Well, we'll see how far I get with this Vinland Saga. I mean, I'm enjoying it from the first episode I watched. It's got a strange run time. It doesn't run like your typical 22, 23 minutes. It goes over to like 28. It's very strange.
Huh.
Oh, really? Dang.
Is that every episode or the first?
Just the first that I can see, but I think I was told it does that every episode. Very, very strange.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. Because the first episode of Astra Lost in Space was like
right.
2 episodes worth.
And the first episode of Shield Hero was an hour long.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of kind of strange stuff they're doing lately. Like I guess they're just testing the waters for stuff like that or trying to make it stick out some way.
Yeah.
Outside of just even plot and things like that.
The fourth show I'm watching is now.
I did finish that, by the way. And people are still, not only are they crying about it, but they cried about the ending because the slave guy is still alive and not punished at all. And they're like, it's like he was a minor character to begin with. I mean, really.
I hope it gets a second season, only to piss those people off.
Well, from a perspective of light novels and all that, yeah, there's more.
Yeah, I know my friend Saradin's really into that. Yeah, he's really loving that.
It's pretty fun.
The fourth show, and the one I thought you'd be watching, K-Gods, was Do You Love Your Mom and Her 2-hit?
Yes!
The Milky guy.
I just
Oedipus Complex Online.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
It is a stupid show. It is.
Well, of course it is. Well, come on.
I'm enjoying it because it's such a stupid show.
It's so heartwarming.
It's first off, it's cheaply animated because it's JC Staff doing the quantity over quality notion.
But it's it's JC Staff. They do that a lot.
Yeah. But again,
Listen,
it's
picking on JC Staff.
It's been said once. It's been said 100 times by me. People need to stop fronting on JC Staff like they haven't made hits, please.
Yeah, I mean they're the ones that made Utena in the '90s, so.
Stop fronting on JC Staff. Listen.
Well, here's the thing that's cracking me up about that, because I keep seeing pictures from it, and they're always compromising positions or something like that. But the funniest thing I saw related to that show was somebody basically trying to get people to, like, one of those polls. You know how they have like a little vote this or that type of poll on like Twitter or whatever. It says like, if you can get so and so, I'll watch this series with my mom.
Oh yeah,
and I'm just like, I was like, that's funny, and good luck with that.
Oh boy.
I don't know what you're thinking, but there you go.
Yeah. Also, well, related to the podcast topic, I've been rewatching Lucky Star.
A lot of people have.
I've been rewatched.
It's great. I'm halfway. Yeah.
So I've actually been watching 2 things this season. The first one is Okasan Online. I'm actually really enjoying it. It's heartwarming. It does have the fan service angle and everything, which whatever. But
I just like how it's like she just really likes her son.
Yeah, but but in terms of the animation, it really captures the manga very well. Because I've read a little bit of the manga, and they went with good character designs. But the second thing I've been watching has been Shonen Trash, Dr. Stone.
That's one I hear a lot of people talking.
So if I could just explain what Dr. Stone is, it's
I'm interested.
4D chess in 7000 AD, but also 7000 BC. If that makes sense.
It's the future, but it's the past.
Yeah, it's
So,
it's the days of
Simpson,
future
a Flintstones Jetsons hybrid?
not okay. So in terms of the calendar, it is 7000 AD, but like I don't want to give like would you say like the first 5 minutes of a show spoiling that would be spoilers?
No.
Nah.
Okay, cool. So pretty much like this weird EMP pulse goes off and turns every human being into stone, and also all the birds for some reason. I think it's because we share the same immune system.
Okay.
But
Gotta
this
watch out for
EMP
them avian viruses.
Yeah. This EMP blast like turns everybody into stone, and then like 5,000 something years go by. And a few of these kids who were of course Japanese high schoolers wake up.
Naturally.
Like they break out of their stone, and it's
Sure does suck being in stone for thousands of years.
yeah. The main character is this like big musclehead guy who was just about to confess to his crush just before the stone thing happened, and which is like a nice cliche, you know.
I'm getting some Gargoyles vibes here.
The other,
You're right.
a little bit, yeah. The other main character is a scientist kid who just like his dad was like, "Oh, you want to be a scientist? I'm going to sell my car and buy you a bunch of books, and then you'll have to learn everything."
No pressure.
So he did. So
Are
pretty
you
much
doctor yet? Dad, I'm 12 years old. Talk to me when you're doctor.
But yeah, and there's two other characters who get brought to life, but it adds a sort of complexity and a sort of like conflict to it about like, do they want to save everyone, or do they want to save only a select few, and all the people who screwed us all over and put us into like terrible situations like war and strife, if we want to just like let those people die. So that's that's sort of what the current arc of the story is going through.
Interesting.
Understood.
But yeah, it is pretty
That's certainly
good.
a little different.
That's something
I don't know.
I could see on like Tanami also.
If you guys have ever seen the that YouTube channel, there's this guy in Australia who like he does like Stone Age stuff. Like he'll build himself a shelter just out of sticks and stuff.
Yeah.
Or
I know
he'll
what
like
you're
make
talking
clay
about.
pots and stuff. It's pretty much that, but anime and more entertaining, and not just ASMR for just like rubbing your feet against rocks and shit.
or if you're just really turned on by Aussie accents.
No, he doesn't speak in any of them, but it's like really, really good audio mixing.
Huh,
Like,
interesting.
Oddly good audio mixing. But yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Okay, interesting. Okay, Cube, you got anything?
Yeah, I do actually. So I spent a few. Basically, I watched like a few KyoAni stuff, basically in tribute of KyoAni. I rewatched Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, and still holds up on the second watch. I have it on Blu-ray. Just I didn't really want to support it, but I got it basically on a gift card. So that's the reason why I have it.
It happens.
And I also got I also watched all of Haruhi and I finally watched last night with my buddy Sheridan. I finally watched the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Yeah,
That movie.
it's very nice.
God.
I saw it at a con actually.
At a con. Oh, I bet that was something.
Well, yeah, because it was a big projector screen and all that.
Oh, was
Yeah.
it like in an actual theater, that kind of thing, or just like
No. It was just like kind of like in colleges where they have like they pull the thing down and they beam the
like a
stuff on there.
presentation room? That kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. And then later that night, they basically played Violence Jack and a bunch of like old school kind of stuff.
Oh, that's always fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that movie, it blew me away. It hit home in some areas. Some things it's kind of personal. I don't want to get into, but man, the animation was just so great, and I'm glad I went through it. It's one of those movies I wish I saw sooner, or wish I saw as when it was brand new, so that way I could have been like part of the hype train and all that stuff. But yeah, it was great, and I loved it, and I'm glad I own it, despite it being a Funimation release. But hey, I'm glad I have it. So
Can I just say, I like how my outspoken disdain for Funimation has caused other people on this podcast to justify their Funimation purchases just automatically, unsolicited. I don't care if anyone else
we
buys
get it.
Funimation releases. I just think that's funny.
oh yeah, it's fine. It's cool though. Yeah, it's just that I don't really. It's just that with the current situation, and plus with them like injecting politics, and also with that thing you probably want to talk about. I'm not sure if we're going to get into the Let's News section of that with them like adding that thing, that pedophile thing to
We'll mention it. It's not. To me,
It's news,
that's,
but it's not news.
yeah.
that
To me,
kind of
that's
thing.
Funimation's fucking up again.
Doing
Must be a day that ends
Funimation
in
stuff
Y.
again.
What is it? Sunday? Yeah,
Funimation.
Funimation's fucking up again.
So
Oh,
Go
one thing I saw for the first time, I didn't even know this was a thing. So KyoAni made it's only 20 minutes, but it's an OVA that they did called Baja's Studio.
Yeah, the one with the animal mascots, right?
Yes.
I have
that was
no
really
idea what you're talking about.
It's really cute. Yeah, it's a little hamster thing. There's a girl who I thought was a loli, but it's actually it's an adult, but just it's the way
Wait,
it's
no,
drawn.
what was this called again?
Baja's Studio or Baja No's Studio.
Okay.
It looks like our mascot Hino Watanabe.
There's
But
been a lot
but-
of girls that have that kind of character design lately. I've been noticing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was ahead of the curve on that.
No, actually, Salad, the artist in Comicello, was ahead of the curve. I just took from that. So, no, but what was I saying? It actually reminded me of Toy Story, because it had the sort of like toys, because it was like an animation studio, and they had like figures of what they were working on, and then at night they came to life type of thing.
Okay.
So I recommend it. It's really short but really nicely done.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out sometime. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I also rewatched A Silent Voice.
I'll
Yeah,
talk
we
about
watched
that
that
in our
too.
next segment.
Oh, cool. Oh, all right. Anything else you want to talk about? Guys.
No, not really. Other than like, yeah, it's been a long time since I podcasted, and yeah. To give a little update on Otaku Midnight, while there hasn't been any new episodes, one, life shit, that kind of thing, and two, my other co-host Kevin Faulkner, he's in a situation where he can't really podcast that well, so that's one of the reasons why we haven't been able to.
Basically, VZ after Sandy.
Yeah, that kind of thing, and I just I've been wanting to get back on the saddle because there's just been a bunch of things I just been wanting to podcast, and this is like, I'm really happy to be invited on the show to
No problem.
talk about Funimation. Not Funimation, KyoAni.
Yeah. Well,
Freudian slip.
Yeah, you could always come on and talk about whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm happy to be on here. Wish it was under better circumstances though. But yeah,
That happens.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into why my circumstances were bad not that long ago, because I've already done it, but there was a lot of serious shit that went down and kind of derailed things for a little while.
yeah, I understand, dude.
I mean, it's basically one of those things like, oh, you had plans?
Would be a shame if something happened.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, let's news.
Let's news.
Working to restore power.
Raise the roof.
Okay, we're going to cover the good news coming out of the Kyoto situation. Kyoto Animation recovers the data from their server.
Yes, I've heard that, and we're all
So
very
what
happy.
happened is their servers were in basically a separate room a hardened room surrounded in concrete, which protected them from the fire
Sort of a
and
bunker type deal.
yeah, and from all the water that they used to fight the fire. So
Oh, like
Bas-
Akuda.
basically, all their data is recoverable and has been recovered.
Nice. I'm really happy about that. I that's like probably the best news I heard like out of this whole entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the good news. We're gonna skip the bad news and go straight to the ugly news, because surprise, surprise, as has been well documented on this podcast throughout many years, Anime News Network is fucking up again. And in a big way this time.
Yep.
So this is a link to a thread on the ANN forums. Title: Stop publishing articles on the identities of the victims of the Kyoto studio fire. With the first post being, Kyoto has publicly requested police and media refrain from publishing the identities of injured and deceased employees and have no intentions of making an announcement until their funerals are over. Publishing this article with a link to the article and any similar articles in the future directly goes against the wishes of Kyoto Animation, their employees, family, and police. It is scummy as hell, even if it is reported by Mainichi Shimbun. The information was likely acquired by pestering families in the race for scoops. People are still grieving. This is a disgrace.
Yeah, it really is. Ugh.
Yeah, and it didn't stop there either.
No, it
That's where the problem started, I guess. Like, how do we want to approach this? I mean, you can just read it for yourself. I mean, because it goes on, and then pretty sure that's their CEO or whatever.
Yeah, Tempest,
Yeah,
A&M publisher and CEO.
Yeah, basically, the ethics advisor board and all that bullshit. Right, and basically justifying what they're doing.
No, he goes on to with this long response, and then operates to North American journalistic standards. Our ethics advisor is a member of the ethics committee at the Society for Professional Journalists. They know what they're doing. They're experts in this. Concluding with, I know you hate ANN and regularly criticize us on Twitter, so I'm certain none of this will change your opinion of us. But I hope you at least understand that we're doing the best we can to balance opposing responsibilities.
Yeah, that was really a bad call there.
This is what gets me about ANN. Every time someone who regularly criticizes ANN, they use the fact that they regularly criticize ANN to completely ignore it.
Try to hand wave it away.
It's like, oh, well, ANN just has haters all the time, so of course they're going to criticize us no matter what we do.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
fucking
then
reason these people have haters, because they're Bush League. They're
just a niche publication.
maybe if they're getting criticism all the time, there's a reason for it. Maybe.
But Anubis, would you say ANN defies criticism?
Yeah. Also,
it is a specialty product.
although I do have a tweet from like one of ANN's employees. Legit don't understand how people have the energy to be mad at ANN over nothing right now. It's just like, bitch, what the fuck?
Over nothing?
Calibrate your brain.
it has been requested that
You stop doing the shit
that
you're
you,
doing.
you stop publishing the names of people who perished in the fire until funerals have been over it and done with. That's been requested.
Gotta get
And
that click though.
If we can't abide, that's a very basic request to abide by.
Yeah,
Because
it's not like
that's as easy as just not posting shit about it.
well, yeah, it's not like they're asking for rocket fuel or
Yeah, we're not asking you to solve trigonometry here or anything like that.
Yeah, but then it becomes a whole big thing because some people who happen to criticize ANN a lot criticized ANN. So now what really happens is, oh, those people are bad now.
and plus it goes further. There's some shenanigans actually on social media as well.
Of course there are.
I mean, yeah, you couldn't have figured that one out.
This is a death threat!
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That was
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
Zeke in the server. I guess we're too high on pure strain otaku syrup to understand their journalistic standards.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, you don't need to be an otaku to understand ANN. They're like really complex.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, did they have the? Well, here's my question: were they in the right by saying don't publish the names until after? Which, you know.
Considering it's their country, yes.
Yeah, considering they're all about that respect.
If
Not the quote.
Well, the names were already gonna come anyway, so I guess the patience. But at the same time, a lot of people are very impatient to know.
well,
Cool.
here's the thing. The dichotomy here is we can respect the requests of KyoAni and the families and whatnot, or we can publish a story early and get more clicks for it.
ClickSmart, which is probably generating revenue for them, I'm sure.
So we can respect the requests of the families of the deceased, or we can make some money.
Funny for people that have such a hard, an angry diatribe against things like capitalism. They sure don't mind exploiting it.
Well, it's because their fucking enterprise has been failing for the past several years. So yeah, maybe it's important to them to get these articles out to be able to maybe scrape some kind of revenue going on, but it's also wildly unethical. And of the history of my criticisms of ANN, this is up there.
Oh yeah.
Because now you're talking about directly going against grieving families, and it's like, well, you guys are constantly on a high horse
Priorities,
about this
people.
and that, and like, what is this now? Why is
But
this so important to you guys?
Which is funny because ANN's always seemed like we're higher brow and more above Sankaku complex, but at the same time they're
No, they're not.
no that's what they think, but I'm saying they're not. They're doing the same things you expect it from Sankaku, but
Well, yeah, that's because they. I mean, come on, they post porn,
Yeah, and they're kind of sensationalist too at times.
Yeah. and sometimes they're pretty amusing when they do. mean-
handshakes for otaku.
Okay, that one's not amusing, but
that will never not be something I will bring up. That's just
anyway.
uh,
So this is basically a bit of a quagmire of their own doing.
Zeke in the chat writes, I don't agree with KyoAni's stance. I think their fans just want to know who is safe and who isn't, but they should still respect their decision. If I can have the maturity to abide by their decision I don't agree with, these fuckers don't even have an excuse.
Well, good journalism costs money.
Man, that's why don't.
That's their
This
excuse.
is why they don't fucking have any. I'm sorry. This is just, again, as many criticisms as I've given against Anime News Network, this is egregious.
They're a tabloid.
Shouldn't have to be an issue. Yeah, they're a tabloid. They're a tabloid.
Was this
they're,
before
they're-
or after the 10 names were?
This was well before.
Yeah.
This was like
Yeah,
a week
I was gonna
before.
say this went down before that.
Like, and here's the thing, the relevance has been falling precipitously for the past several years, and again, good journalism costs money, which is why they don't fucking have any. So I guess they have to scrape as much as they can, and that means directly going against people's wishes to get a few more clicks, because people really want to. People
Well, hey,
people want to
sometimes you
know
just gotta.
want
Sometimes-
to know who's dead and who's alive, which is fair, but at the same time, you've got the families of these people saying, "Hey,
Could you
we
not
get
do that?
Can we get some respect? Can we get some privacy? We're grieving right now."
And they're just like, fuck that, we got a scoop.
Yep, basically.
They're running out of cults to take money from.
Yeah, happy science. Happy science is like,
Well, they took money from Happy Science Cult and got called out for that. So there goes one revenue stream. Chris McDonald ran his mouth and had to step down from the Otaku Coin scan. So
Yep.
there goes another revenue stream.
maybe he just needs to get into Bitcoin.
They tried to freaking pull a DMCA on Hiro Hey, and that got shot down with prejudice. So there goes that revenue stream. So now they're
Let's not
basically-
forget some of the other shit that's went down, like the whole fucking business with what's his face. Fuck, I can't think of his name off.
Zach?
No. The one guy who got in trouble for pulling shit at cons.
I know his name.
Hazukari.
Hazukari. Could not think of his name.
Him, yeah.
Yeah, they
The woke
went up,
feminist.
they went on that boat and had to scramble
Walk
real
that back.
fast to put out an article to take the heat off of them, and they have zero relevance from that article anymore. Like, realize that nobody mentions Anime News Network when they're talking about Vic Mignogna anymore.
No.
No.
In
Which is
fact,
funny. I saw
their
the thing.
infamy for that was very short-lived. So now they have to jump on. Hey,
There was some
we
blowback
can-
for sure.
we need
Well-
to get these articles out as fast as possible, so we can be the first people announcing the names of these people that people don't want us announcing the names of yet.
Well, let's be real here. Journalism, especially in the United States, is in bad shape. Simply because, like, what seems to be the model they're going on is run whatever, and then if it's wrong, 6 days later we'll have some bullshit, basically correcting it.
And
And
we
don't
don't.
even-
nobody's going to read anyway.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
they're going to be talking over these talking points for years that were completely misinformed. And then it's like, hey, I am correcting you. And then they're like, oh no, that's not true. You're just biased in some other way. And then you
Yeah,
actually
it's
show them the
complete-
correction, and then they just like drop the subject. It's like
Yeah,
the
it's-
damage has already been done.
Bingo.
Yeah. It's completely fucking insane that this is a model that seems to be what people are doing.
They had but then they had the thing, the Vic Mignogna
Words, VZ, words.
basically like the stack of papers accounting all the
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Were you talking about like the discovery process and all that? That,
well,
that
actually-
apparently, that
Yeah,
apparently
yeah.
stuff's going on.
yeah, something. But it was a headline on ANN that they had here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that's looking to them for answers on any of that.
No. After the Vic thing took off, ANN was completely forgotten. which I'm kind of upset about, because that means that the target for any retaliation isn't going to be ANN, because nobody they're in the background. Nobody knows they exist anymore.
Disposition, that's the word.
Oh, okay.
Deposition.
I wasn't 100% sure what you were talking about.
I'm just realizing something now. like back in the day, you'd see like excerpts from reviews from ANN on the back of manga covers and stuff.
Yeah, occasionally.
You don't see that at all anymore.
No.
Oh, they used to do
or anything is
anime.
Very happy.
There used to be anime reviews also. Well,
Yeah.
well, you know what happened?
Project Echo was one of those.
Well, you know what happened? The Japanese themselves didn't like the negative things that they were saying in their like reviews.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder why.
And then basically Zach said A&N is for the American audience or something. Basically the equivalent of saying "fuck you."
I'm gonna.
We do what we want.
I'll roll over and eat some chili dogs or something.
I do what I want.
Do you-
Whatever.
Do you guys remember the whole thing? They started a whole like it wasn't a campaign, but they started like this whole like blasting Yaginuma. He's the director of Netoju no Susume.
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause
that person that was apparently like a Nazi or something like that.
Oh,
who,
yeah,
liked neo-Nazi stuff on Twitter.
Oh, is that the one that's
So-
he giving money to Kyoani?
Oh yeah,
no,
but-
no, yes,
no,
okay.
not him. This
No,
guy
no, no,
was
no,
an
not that
actual
guy.
director of anime, and the whole thing was when we a friend and I were actually trying to collect information on the payment system and confirming that the animation studios do not get a single red cent from Crunchyroll subs. He was like one of our only resources, but the thing was, my friend started to get like really annoyed with this guy because he kept on being like, "Can you translate this thing I'm saying into English? Can you translate this thing I'm saying into English? Can you translate this English thing into Japanese for me so I can understand it?" And the thing was, he was getting more annoyed by this, and like he started to ignore him a little bit, which is funny because it's like you have this guy who has actually worked on anime for like years, almost I think over a decade, and you have to start ignoring him because he's on his Nazi bullshit. And I didn't know any better. So I started up talking with this guy, and he started doing the same thing with me, and then he started like linking me this stuff from like these like horrible anti-Semitic blogs and stuff, and was asking me to translate for him. And I'm like, I'm sorry,
is very
dude, but
bizarre.
no. It is very bizarre. But
Is
it's like
Angel Cop your favorite anime?
you have the it's amazing that like it's 2019 and I had this direct contact with an actual anime director who worked on something that was like pretty major, and I had to start actually ignoring him because he was on his bullshit. But the thing was, I don't think any of this would have been an issue if Anime News Network didn't start that whole campaign, because it's like, okay, he has some really stupid ideas. He has some like incorrigible things that he said and believed, but that doesn't inform his work at all. First of all, he's not writing half of this shit. It actually came from a light novel, but second of all, it's like he did decent work, and then you ended his career over this whole thing, and it's like you probably would have never known that he had these beliefs if you didn't look into it, because it's not like he's slipping in this Nazi dog whistle propaganda in this like love story thing. It's just ridiculous.
Well,
I've said it a million times and I'll say it again. Remember when Twitter was the stupidest shit?
oh yeah, like everybody.
It still is.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
yeah, but for a different reason.
But everyone takes it
It's
so
the stupidest
seriously
shit.
now. Like, fuck. Like,
Remember when everybody just thought, why the fuck does anybody want to watch what other people are eating or
Yeah.
whatever?
hey, who
Yeah,
wants to
or
know I just
don't
ate a
wanna
pizza?
tweet I'm on the toilet.
Okay, that has comical applications, but
I got my Twitter in high school because it was the only way to get snow closure information without having to watch the news for like 10 minutes and wait for my school to come.
Oh yeah,
And
totally
I
understand
almost
that.
completely forgot about it until like about 2011, and I started kind of posting on it, and then I just like in the past like maybe like 6 or 7 years have gone into overdrive on Twitter.
Yeah,
Because it's not even the past 6 or 7 years, like maybe like 2 or 3 years, because I sort of just left Tumblr after it became just a complete shithole.
Good call.
Yeah. but now Twitter has become a complete shithole, and
Yes,
I don't know
indeed.
where I'm going to be going after this.
No telling. There's a lot to be said. I mean, ever since there was 2 major migrations that fucked up Twitter. I mean that everybody knows what they are
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
There was the whole the 4chan thing where people started freaking out because of the whole Gamergate deal.
Yeah.
And like all the image boards started getting clamped down and people freaking out, and so there was exoduses out of there, and some of them went to like 8 or Infinite Chan or whatever the fuck they're calling it, and
8chan,
yeah, and some of them went to Twitter of all places. And same thing's kind of true with Tumblr too. When they started banning like porn and things like that, you saw a mass exodus of people starting to show up on Twitter, and you can always tell when they are part of that crowd too. Just look at their bio.
What was the reason for them doing that? Other than obvious.
I think it was something to do with advertising or marketing.
I think they're trying to sell Tumblr.
Yeah, I believe he's right. Something to do with all this stuff. It's harder to sell it because of the porn.
Yeah.
Which
yeah. That's a shame.
It was the only reason like 80% of people went to Tumblr to begin with.
Exactly.
yeah, all of us were on Boobs in Motion or something like that, or just whatever.
Yeah, just looking up art. Yeah.
Or yeah, exactly. I don't know anybody that was actually there using it like they do Instagram per se.
Yeah, I mean, it's like JT Sexkick said. I'm like, you can ignore all the hipsters, all the super hulock shit, and you can ignore all the social justice shit too. You could just follow like, cuteanimegirls.tumblr.com or like this thing, reblog this, reblog that, bam, 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 and be on today.
Yeah, it's kind of curating it the same way you would anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the thing. Like,
go ahead.
you'd always get that. The interesting thing about Tumblr was that you'd always get that message that somebody would send out. It's like, if you don't like what you're seeing on Tumblr, just start following different people and unfollow the people that are posting things that you don't like. But the thing was,
What a novel concept.
yeah, but here's the thing, like, it started spreading like an infectious disease. Like, I'd follow somebody who posts some like really cool content, or like some like, before Sakuga Boro was a thing, like people would post Sakuga on Tumblr, but then they'd start to get into this like really off social justice bullcrap. And I don't know, Jello Apocalypse?
Yes.
Yes.
I do.
Remember when he used to be good? But here's the thing. He made a Tumblr for a YouTube video where he was taking the piss out of Tumblr.
Yep.
Oh, I remember
remember
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing was, after he made that Tumblr and people started like shitting on him,
People got fucking crazy.
he started. I don't know. It's not that he caved into them. It's that he started to actually like pay towards their talking points, to a
Started
point
to
where now
assimilate.
it's like, oh yeah, remember that guy who like did a bunch of like funny videos way back in the day? Now he's trying to make you vote for the candidate he likes and all this stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, that's not why anybody liked you. We liked you because you were the exact opposite of this shit.
I mean,
Yeah.
really, man. Yeah.
Sorry for the tangent, but
No, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm with you.
but it's just people that I really enjoyed following ended up starting to get more and more just like
A lot of it's chasing clout.
librarian.
A lot of a lot of it's just chasing clout.
Yeah, it is, because it's like, that's the thing. And
Because
if you look at my follower count on Twitter, it's just like, I'll post things for a while and I'll post like some of my A-list content and it barely gets a few likes or anything like that. But then I post something about the latest like flavor of the month issue and my stance on it in like a sort of humorous way or something, and suddenly I gain like 600 followers in 3 days, and it's
Yep.
like, that's not what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not what I ever
I don't
wanted.
want to be. This shit's not about politics, man. I want to talk about anime, yo. Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The thing about that, and I know exactly what he's talking about, is that happened to me a couple times. I would post something, And then all of a sudden, I would see I have 5 new followers or something. It's like, okay, let's see who they are. And like down to the most minuscule of things, it's so predictable. It's people that are posting basically and unironically at that whole hashtag anime right stuff.
Oh, fuck them.
Fuck.
And I'm just laughing. I'm like, dude, you do realize that there's a disconnect there, right?
Ugh.
It's like, I guarantee the people who make these shows that you're using as your icons and stuff probably don't care about any of this shit.
And they're probably anti-war too. You ever thought about that? Especially the people that use all those girls' last tour things. I mean, I don't want to launch into a thing about it, but like, yeah, especially those people that always use stuff like girls' last tour and all. So I was like, I don't know about that, Chief. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate mail for that, but I'm not trying to get all hippie up in here. But
See,
yeah,
No.
Here, this is coming full circle. Remember back when I used to run Task Force MOE, and I had the whole Moe military aesthetic going on. But
Which I'm stealing from you now.
thank you. The Moe military aesthetic is a real thing that's getting really big.
Yep.
I would like to say that I was on it before it was a thing, but
Yes, no, I'd agree with you. And
Whoa,
it's funny
hipster
because
news.
my friend, before he went into the Air Force, I was like, you should watch anime, and he's like, no, it's all Naruto crap. And I tried to give him
Slides.
to give him my DVD collection of Strike Witches, and he was like, no, that's crap. But then like he was in the Air Force for like, I'm not even kidding, 6 months before he was like, oh my god, I'm watching like 3 episodes of anime every night. It's like the only thing I do with my spare time anymore and stuff. And he's been like that for years now.
Like sliding him a copy of A801 TTS
yeah, I was
Airbat.
just about to say
yeah, or slipping a copy of Uvapate or something like that.
Area 88.
Yeah,
There's gonna be
exactly.
one of those shows next season, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, that's fine, man.
So I was on the Moe military aesthetic, but ahead of the curve, and a non-trivial number of people had called me right wing because I was using that aesthetic. Now
I
we're full
remember.
circle where right wing people are actually using that aesthetic, and they're not doing it because like I did because they just like the aesthetic. They're doing it because people will identify them as right wing because they use the aesthetic.
Yeah, it's very, very strange.
Mm.
The one thing I used to love was the whole fucking bit where, because you can go back into some of our old, really old episodes, and barring the sound quality, which is probably shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I
is
haven't
confirmed.
done it. Okay, yeah, no doubt. But there was one episode we actually called it Moe right wing like fundamentalism or something, or terrorism or whatever.
Ugh.
Moe fundamentalist
fundamentalist
terrorism.
terrorism.
And that
Right,
was
because-
wasn't that
because of
something
some-
that VZ was
fucking-
called on that fucking
Yeah,
toy
because of
thing?
some-
No. That was something that they called me on Toy Box DS.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was like, really, you can't be serious, and it was just, we had a lot of fun with that because, in fact, that place we have to give them some props because they unintentionally gave us a lot of ammo.
Oh yeah.
Advanced capitalism.
Advanced
Advanced capitalism.
We don't
That-
have
that
to be
one was a
nerds. We
great
can
one.
play football.
Mhm.
We get laid. We play football. We get laid.
Yeah.
No, that's not. Yeah,
no,
yeah,
but that is a really funny thing, though.
They gave us that gem like that one guy who insisted that Squid Girl isn't Moe, and when pressed, it basically came down to because he likes it, it's not Moe.
Yeah, I never. That is just capital R retarded.
Well, this was Collection Derrick's, which I used to write for, but the one guy that was saying that they should make more anime here for us because there's more people here.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you do realize that if you logically conclude that argument, they would make it for China, right?
Yep.
Not only because
China and
there's more
Southeast
people, but
Asia.
they're close. Not only are they closer, and there's more people there than there are here, but culturally they're closer too.
Yeah. Also, same
Yeah,
guy
that's
said,
true.
if you like Lucky Star, you're a pedophile.
Well,
What?
well,
I I gotta say, if I'm not the only one who thought this, but after the anime aired, Kagami Yoshimizu actually changed up the style of Lucky Star a tiny bit, and everybody thought it was 10 times sexier after he changed up the style. and it's like they did age up. Like they were canonically out of high school at that point, and they were like university age. But like reading.
Well, yeah, but most of these people were, one, they're basing it on the anime, and two, to them, they don't know what the Puni plush style is.
Check this out. There's a subreddit called R Advanced Capitalism. Oh, I bet there is.
And they are
That guy probably made it.
Late stage capitalism too.
That guy probably made that one too.
Yikes.
I don't know. That's just funny. Wasn't there one called like Cringe Anarchy at one point too? And it was basically kind of the inverse of that. It was basically like them posting people that are like Occupy Wall Street type people doing dumb shit.
No, I haven't heard of it.
I wouldn't know. I'm very, very judicious with the subreddits I interact with.
All right, I think we should.
I just don't interact with Reddit, really.
All right, I think we should end this
Good
first
strap.
segment.
Yeah,
That's fine.
we've gone far past the news. We're gonna hit
Whoa,
up the
sorry.
break. Keep it right here on NTR Radio.
We'll be right back.
夢はやりかけのジグゾー今は
は眠らない誰もが思い抱いたまま光るコイン握りしめた手でおどけかけた夢を探そう 消えたメモリー探し続けてる純なハートをなくさないために開き始めた My next station あと狙い定めた
Welcome back to NTR Radio.
Dun dun dun. Okay, now for the main event.
Yes, indeed. Since number one, the entire situation with Kyoto Animation went on several weeks ago, and is still ongoing. And number
Yeah.
two, the last Kyoani episode we did was in 2013.
Actually, a long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
way back in 2013.
2013. It's like, fuck,
Yeah,
we
I
were
think I
still
remember.
doing that. I forgot. Yeah, the show was still kind of new.
Yeah, and I just got into it at that time too.
That's interesting.
Sean has made a whole bunch of shows since then.
Oh yeah.
That we have that not only have we not covered them, but well, not just shows, but movies and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so we're gonna kind of go through some of that. I think that's the cool thing to do, and sort of a tribute to them.
Yeah. I will watch Clannad someday.
Yeah.
Get to that someday.
Of those, my favorite is still Air.
Ah.
Probably
Yeah.
because I saw it first.
Yeah, that was my first Kyoani show too. Was Air.
Oh, Zeke, that's terrible.
We're not gonna mention that.
No.
Wait. What did
So-
you say?
So
don't say it.
so because
Nah.
because that episode of this podcast was so long ago, we're gonna be dedicating this episode to Kyoto Animation.
Yeah. Less as a sort of like going through, each show chronologically, just talking about memories and such, and sort of like
We're talking about stuff
And-
we've watched, talking about how that studio has kind of enriched us
what makes
as
them
anime
stand
fans.
out. Yeah,
Exactly,
what makes them. What are things that make a Kyoani show so distinct from the rest of the industry? Not that there isn't great things from other studios, but it's like when you're watching a Kyoani show.
You almost always do. Just the visuals.
Wow,
they-
just
they-
looking at this list, like half of Kyoani's TV anime catalog came out between when we did the last show and now.
Yeah.
Mm.
There is a lot to cover if we really get into it. So how do you guys want to approach that?
I guess. Well, all right. I think the best way to do it is, what was the first Kyoani thing that we've all seen on, or when was the first you've heard? Because I think the first thing I saw like on this list was Harry Suzumiya, because that was the when it, and I wasn't really even like the type of person watching things as it came out.
We should
But
point out that that's an adaptation of a light novel.
adapted in a light novel, and well, I remember there was a manga that came out before. See, there were two mangas for adapt. There was one when the TV series was coming, but then there was also one before. It was after the light novel, but before the TV series, and oh man, it's not even good for like doujin art. It's like that poor quality.
The first thing I saw from them was Full Metal Panic Fumofu.
Same here.
which by the way is still one of my favorites. It makes me laugh my ass off every time I watch it.
It's an excellent anime, best of the Full Metal Panic series in my opinion. It was actually one of the first DVD sets I ever bought, if I can remember correctly.
Maybe we were supposed to say it Full Metal Panic.
Full Metal Panic?
Yeah, well, man.
because it's a question.
Yeah.
It's really funny, and you can tell they're involved just watching the opening.
Yeah.
If nothing does, that will. Because it's not that the version Gonzo did was like bad looking or anything, but there's just a certain look and vibe that comes off of KyoAni stuff, and that's a perfect example of that.
See, I think I only seen a tiny bit of Funimation because it was on that short period I had the Funimation channel.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Harry Suzumiya was like the big one that like just when that came out, and that kind of like, because at the time that really kind of like, I don't know, set the bar for like what 2D digital animation could do, which is funny because at the same year you had like, if that was the absolute best the industry could put out, you also had the absolute worst with like Gundam Musashi the same year.
Well, another thing is everybody went crazy about the dance.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Yep.
the big.
I'm one of those people who went crazy about the dance. I still know the whole thing.
Also the just basically like what's with that first episode?
Yeah, yeah, 'cause nobody understood what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
I remember because there was an entire stretch of time between the mid 2000s and like up to 2009 or so, 2010, where I was kind of like, I knew stuff like Haruhi existed, but at that time, like, I wasn't up on fan subs and whatnot, so I had no way to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I knew what was out there, and I knew about the dance because I saw the thing on YouTube and whatnot.
And if you went to a con, it was everywhere too.
See, I have seen the dance in the wild very few times.
I used
know
to see
the
it
whole
quite
thing,
a bit.
but I haven't gotten the chance to see it performed in the wild very many times. But like, I knew about Haruhi, I knew about Lucky Star. I think I had heard of Canon from an issue of New Type USA.
Just out of curiosity, did you see the one created by Toei first?
No, I had no idea about that one before
Okay.
hearing about it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awful.
Okay, fair enough.
So I knew all about these things, but it wasn't until 2009 when I watched my first fan subbed episode of K-On! And then prior to that I think I had seen a little bit of Clannad, but never complete.
I distinctly remember, just as an aside here, when K-On! First came out, I distinctly remember people going to Comic Market and getting this really horrible doujins about it. I mean, they were so bad. Like, it's one of those things like Sailor Moon where there's this idea that it's such a inoffensive show that they're going to just completely make it as horrible as possible.
Black Time and
Oh yeah, with K-On!, yeah.
Yeah, they're
Requiem
I saw
5
Black
for a
Time.
Dream.
Oh yeah, is that This Is It?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Or was it That Is It?
That
Yeah,
Is
that
It.
is it. That's right.
But Black Time is certainly the high point of that. Like yeah, just take this like pure thing and just like make it the most like.
Sup, Rookie?
Yeah, exactly. But what really cemented KyoAni for me was Lucky Star, which is funny because the first week that it was airing, I didn't really care to see it. But then I just like, oh, let me watch this thing, and then immediately I fell in love that those first 8 minutes of episode
Yeah.
1. All right.
Chocolate cornet.
Yes. Just how do you eat this chocolate cornet? Oh.
Also, the most useful thing Yamakan ever did.
Well, remember, Yamakan is the who credited the dance for Haruhi.
Oh, okay. Well, then that probably is.
He did the end for that, I believe. So that
Right. But he was quickly fired as being the director from Lucky Star.
yes.
Can you guess why?
The official statement was that they said, oh, he wasn't up to the level of like director or something. I think the real reason was that he was like harassing some of the female workers. I think.
Yeah, I've heard some stuff about that.
Yeah.
When you ask why was Yamakan fired, you could just start rattling off a whole bunch of reasons. And
Have you
just-
seen his social media?
just check the box for whichever one's true. Was he mouthing off? Was he being racist? Was he sexually harassing coworkers? Whichever one's true, it's gonna get him
Was he
fired
putting his-
anyway.
Was he putting his foot in the mouth? Was he putting
was he-
down his only audience?
Well, yeah. Well, the guy lives with his foot in his mouth.
Maybe he's just a really big foot fetish guy. I don't know.
The only Clannad I saw was the first episode of the original, and then the one episode of Clannad After Story. Not the first episode of that. If you know me, you know enough. It was like, okay, I need to see this. I don't care. Continuity be damned. The one with May.
No,
Right.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, since you were talking about Haruhi earlier, Cube had a funny thing to say about that because they recently just watched it and they got to see Endless 8 again.
Oh fuck!
God, Endless 8.
Listen, I watched all of it. They got away with it.
watched all of it too.
I have to watch all of it because they got away with it. They
I
spent
mean, I'm just
2
like-
months broadcasting practically the same episode. 2 full months. They got away with it.
Oh my god.
Not only did they
I
get away with
didn't-
it, they're one of the most successful anime studios in the industry. And they did Endless 8, and one of the most successful anime studios in the industry. They got away with it. You have to appreciate that.
Yeah, but the thing is, I wasn't watching it when it was airing. I bought the DVDs, so sue me. But my friend was also watching it with me, and I decided, oh, I'm going to watch the second season. And then I watched through the second season, get through all of Endless 8, and then I go over his house, and then we get up to the first episode of Endless 8, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it just does this for 7 more episodes. And he says, okay, we're going to watch the next episode. And I'm like, oh,
boy.
so you mean we're going to skip Endless 8? And he's like, no, we're going to watch Endless 8. And
I'm
I
not
watched
watching this
Endless
16
8 a second
times.
time.
Oh, that's almost like a bad episode of Punked or something.
Yeah.
Bro, you just got punked.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it was clever. I mean, in the sense that I still can't believe they didn't get financially punished for that somehow.
Which is, I've heard Yamakan said like he knew that they were going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well, yeah, but he knows everything.
Of course, he's Yamakan. He saved anime.
Uh-huh.
You know, he predicted No. I was gonna say he predicted Vietnam.
But yeah, like what you said, Anubis. Like, my thought on this is that it was never done before. It was done flawlessly, but it's never going to be done again.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna try and go back to that well.
Nobody is ever going to try to repeat that.
So if anyone
Maybe
comes
that's
up
maybe
with,
that's why they did it.
maybe
That's
we
the
should
way I
try that
feel
Endless
about-
8 thing that Kyoto Animation did. It's like you want to try something that one of the most successful anime studios did one time and got away with. Don't tempt fate.
Mm.
I feel the same exact way about like it only worked when Monica Magica did the dark thing, but then like you had a bunch of these other magical girl shows like Yuki Yuna and trying to do the same exact thing. It's like, no, it only worked that one time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that about Bubblegum Crisis when they tried to kind of rejuvenate it, and it just didn't quite work for me.
Yeah, it's some certain things only work the one time, and you just can't recreate that.
Yeah,
no
I mean,
matter how hard you try, it only existed in that one particular ethos. Has anyone I feel like I'm the only person that saw this, because the first thing that KyoAni ever put out, and oddly enough, as their original thing, and oddly enough, CPM
okay.
released this.
It's okay to admit you like Free, VZ.
No. I was gonna say Munto.
Oh, okay.
I have not.
Oh yeah, Munto. Yeah, that was a
Munto,
long
yeah.
time. Oh god.
Yes. Here's the thing about those OVAs. I mean, you look at them, they definitely look KyoAni. Main girl looks just like the girl from Air.
Misuzu. Yeah.
Yeah. Do not expect them anything original, because it is basically anime Yashike plot number 1. Not Yashike, Isekai. Isekai. You know, ordinary girl whisked away in another land, and you know she's the only one that could save it. It is that. I've not seen the any of the continuations that they did. Just the two OVAs. No, because they took those two and they made it into a TV series of 9 episodes. And then they made an anime film that was like the continuation. And that I haven't seen.
Speaking of continuations, there's a movie they put out that a lot of people like, Tamako Love Story.
Oh yeah, I still need to see that.
See, I need to see
Yeah.
that, but first I need to finish Tamako Market.
See, I really like Tamako Market. Despite the antics of Dera, it's actually one of my favorites from them.
Well, quite frankly, the problem with Tamako Market wasn't the bird. It was more that I couldn't tell what it was going for.
Yeah, that was my issue too.
Well, to be fair, that the thing about that was because it wasn't based on anything. It was an original thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, yeah, you kind of feel that slight aimlessness.
Right, and it was made by the same team who worked on K-On! So
Yeah. Well, speaking of K-On!, yeah, K-On! Is like that. If Lucky Star was the thing that made me like Haruhi and Lucky Star, maybe the thing that noticed them. Lucky Star, K-On! Was the thing that like okay, now I love KyoAni.
Yeah, the first time I noticed them was like Air for me as well, and what sealed the deal for me on KyoAni was definitely the 2006 version of
Canon.
of Kanon, yeah.
Canon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why does the
Yeah.
main girl act like? Why does the main girl act like she's retarded? Not my opinion. That's
Well, that's what they're just gonna do.
Well,
Well,
you see, when a character acts quirky, no. Anyway, not to go on that train. But again, since we last did this or covered this topic, there's a lot of stuff that's come out since.
Oh yeah.
I mean, outside of that movie, you also had stuff like Amagi Brilliant Park.
Yeah,
yeah.
that show was excellent.
Which,
I need to
That
buy
was
that
so
one.
good.
I need to buy that one.
again, another kind of adaptation from a light novel. But it's a little different than their usual stuff. It's a little more fan servicey than all their stuff usually is.
Yeah.
It's it was light novel by the same person who did Full Metal Panic.
Yes.
So it kind of
that's why
has
you
that
have-
Full Metal Panic vibe going for it.
Right, Sento is very similar to Sosuke, right? I mean, just
Well,
and then since that she'll do like anything kind of outlandishly.
Yeah, like she had a different upbringing, so she kind of doesn't have the same
Like does the whole
normal-
shotgun wedding thing
Yeah,
almost.
exactly.
Like, it's like you're gonna go on a date with me. You know, I've heard of the weddings, but not like a date.
Actually, as far as fan service, the one that really brought like up the fan service from them was Myriad Colors Phantom World.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
too.
which is one that I honestly didn't care for. It's one of the
Oh, see, really?
it's one of the few of theirs that I was just never a big fan of.
The material it's very average. If it was done by anyone else, it's only because KyoAni did it that it like basically turned like a 2 or 3 into like a 4.
Right. Again, I'll just go on record and say that one was not one of my favorites.
It's
anyone
not
else
one I
watch
was
them?
compelled to really continue on. I might pick it back up because I think the premise is interesting, but again, because of how I watch anime, it wasn't really something I was like, okay, I gotta continue watching this. And
Right.
and a lot of KyoAni anime is that way for me. Amagi Brilliant Park was one that I was like, okay, week to week on this, just because I wanna see what kind of wacky hijinks they're gonna get up to next episode. But I've been going back and watching Heyoka. I still need to finish Haruhi. I still need to watch Disappearance, etc.
Right. Okay. Well, here's another one I'm gonna throw out there. This one's probably ultimately my favorite of the modern era of KyoAni. Sound Euphonium.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
Rewatch that too.
for me too.
Again, another. This one's just a novel, I believe.
Yeah, not a light novel, just plain novel.
Yeah, and this had 2 seasons, and it also had like a
just got a-
compilation movie or something.
Yeah, and a movie that's a continuation. Well, no, 2. There were movies that are just like the compilations, but then there's 2 things. There's a side story called Liz and the Bluebird.
Which I
Right.
I have that too, and that's great. And there was one that came out in January that's like a continuation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I missed my opportunity to see it in theaters. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's one that's really popular and managed to kind of get all kinds of accolades.
Yeah, a very well detailed. The fact that they didn't cheat and use like CG for the instruments.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like,
Yeah, that was great. Oh, by the way, I just want to say this. Yes, Drawing Girl. Asuka is indeed the best girl. That's the reason why I kept watching.
yeah, everybody likes that character.
That's the reason I
right?
need to continue watching.
Yeah,
Also, from
her
the
sort of character is really interesting. The second season, there's a reason why she's the way she is. You'll find out.
Oh, yeah.
Gray Forster says Sound Euphonium, also known as tuba lesbians.
Tuba lesbian.
Well, everybody's seen that freaking picture where it's talking about blowing and whatnot. And out of context, it looks really funny.
Has anyone seen? Because I actually own this one too. Beyond the Boundary.
I have not seen that one yet.
That's
I have
one
not
that I've never seen. I'll just say that.
It's good. It's not one of their best. Maybe because it takes its premise too seriously. Which I'll get into another show in a second. I like the main girl. You'll know obvious reason.
Yeah, Mirai.
Yeah. I did not care for the movie though, the sequel. I don't know. I think the show was better when it was doing the lighthearted stuff rather than the serious stuff.
They also did a really poignant movie called A Silent Voice.
Oh, yeah, right. I just rewatched that.
Yeah, very good.
AKA, you'll start crying in the middle of a con.
Well, ouch.
Oof.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I know my buddy bought it while we were actually at A-Con earlier this year, like in at the end of June. That was one of the things they were selling in the vendor hall. It was actually had a couple movies sitting out there, and that was one of them.
One of my favorite things from KyoAni is Chunibo.
Yeah,
Mm.
Chunibyo.
Yeah.
That
For
one
those
was
who,
excellent.
for those who haven't seen it, you've probably seen a meme of it at some point or another, because it's the eye patch girl.
Right.
Yeah, Rika Takanashi.
Yes, Rika.
Second season wasn't as strong as the first season, but the concluding movie made up for it.
Yeah, I still need to see Take on Me.
That is the greatest love story ever. That's all I'll say. It's the greatest love story
It's a
ever.
shame they didn't use "Take on Me" by Aha for the opening.
I was just going to reference if they actually did that.
I will say what.
Yeah.
I won't spoil, but one thing I liked was it was kind of like a sort of best of KyoAni thing, because they visit was it Yuta and Rika they're sort of like running away. What's that word? Eloping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And as they're doing that, they're visiting like different places, but they're places from other KyoAni shows.
That's clever.
Yeah, it really is. But now that he said that, now that I've got the song in my head, I've just got this really funny visual of him hitting like the high falsetto note and like bats like losing their sense of direction and shit. Fucking sonar just like anyway.
I really need to rewatch Nichijou.
Oh yeah, me too, man.
I need to actually sit down and watch Nichijou.
But Cube, you said that the video, that the Funimation, that the new release, that the Japanese audio isn't as strong or something.
I don't think I said that though. I was trying. I remember you were talking about it like on our Discord. I remember, and I don't remember a time when I said that. I know I was complaining about Lucky Star's.
Well, yeah, that was the video. That was what I was kept saying. It's like, fuck that release. You know.
That might have been someone else that said that, but
Oh, all right.
yeah.
Okay. So another big show, and this one actually was on like the Anime Network or something, I think. Violet Evergarden.
Yeah, that's on.
No, that was Netflix.
That was Netflix.
Oh, it was Netflix. Okay, yeah. I knew it was on one of those like subscription type deals.
Yeah, Violet Evergarden. I watched that last year.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's one
Really-
I plan
really
plan to
good.
check out soon.
It's probably their most serious show that
Yeah.
they ever. There are no jokes. There's no lighthearted moments in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean that will either intrigue you or push you away.
Yeah. The way I describe it is Full Metal Alchemist without the stupid jokes.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. You know, well, the Full Metal Alchemist. It's like, mommy, why they burying daddy? And then the next scene, he's like, oh, we're all super deformed. It's back to something dark and serious. And then, we're all wacky. Which is, I don't mind, like, you having a serious show with comedic moments, but there's an essence of timing. And Full Metal just does that. The timing on that was atrocious, in my opinion.
Well, they were trying to capture the manga as closely as possible, and so that might be the reason why the timing had like strange things and like the comedic drops, because it was using the gag style, like it was almost cribbing the Tezuka style gag manga thing, because Tezuka made some very, very serious works and then he'd drop jokes in and they just like splat down like a water balloon. That was something that
like something like Blackjack or
Howard
whatever.
did as well.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to bring this up. Maid Dragon, anyone? Can we get a choo choo yeah up in here?
Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Yes.
Yes. Ravioli. Lude the Dragon Loli.
Yes.
Dragon Maid has an incredibly special space in my heart because when Dragon Maid started airing, I was on my own and pretty much starting my life from scratch.
Oh.
And that was like the one anime I was watching that season.
Ah, okay.
And just like having such heartwarming content about like building your family around like something that you had no idea would happen, that's something that just happened to your life, like these people just like entered your life suddenly. That was something that really hit home with me at that time in my life. So that's something that I will always remember. So that's yeah.
There's a lot of silly shit that was going around with that. Unfortunately, there was a lot of stupid memes and just general things that were repeats of jokes people made 20 years ago that weren't funny.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why people keep doing the police siren thing. I mean, it's just
Oh yeah, or the picture of a police car too.
It's funny, like people were, K-Gods, you were telling me like that show sort of brought in a lot of people, and a lot of people complaining about it too.
Yes, because Crunchyroll was using it as like their main fuel to try to get people to subscribe to Crunchyroll. So they were bringing in a whole bunch of people who were like were not acclimated to anime at all. They were like, "Oh yeah, I watched Sailor Moon and stuff back in the day, and now that it's cool to watch anime again, now that I'm in freshman year of college, I'm going to give this a try in my most vulnerable time where I'm being indoctrinated against like depictions in media because that's the end all be all of all social consciousness and whatever." And then they're put into this thing where it's just like cutesy stuff and a cutesy lolly girl who has this other girl who's the same age who has a crush on her and all this crap. And it's like, yeah, you just shoved this in the face and said, watch it. Of course they're going to have like a negative reaction to it.
I
Sorry.
think most
whoever made the decision to have
Miles.
we have our answer. So
the answer is yes.
Miles milked Dragon Maid until it was just like a husk. Honestly,
there's very little about Dragon Maid that would cause me to recommend it as someone's first anime.
Exactly.
Very little about that show. There's so much just culturally going on with that show that it requires some understanding of not only anime but of Japanese culture and the way things are done over there.
Mm-hmm.
It helps if you know about mythology too.
I thought people were complaining about the Shota. Literally, his name is Shota.
Yeah.
I think that was
another
like,
thing people were
What's in a
about.
name, you know?
Yeah, it's like, oh, this boy clearly wants to be left alone, but this girl keeps forcing herself on him, and it's like, dude, it's lighten up. It's not meant.
Well,
He thought he summoned a demon, and it took him several episodes to like accept that Lukoa was not a demon.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Dragon Maid is
she's just a huge knocker temptress. No.
But here's the thing about Dragon. It makes a lot of jokes, but at the same time, you're seeing these characters grow and develop. Like you're seeing all these mythical creatures find their place in the world, in between all the jokes and whatnot. It's a very multifaceted show.
Yes.
I heard one of the takes was that it's about immigration. Commentary on immigration. And it's like,
yes.
Japan immigration.
Well, it kind of is. Not the way people who are gonna say it's about immigration are portraying it, but that's kind of what it's about. It's about people coming to a new world that they don't understand and acclimating to it. It's like a reverse isekai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keyword there is acclimating to it.
Bingo.
A situation, as an aside, would occur a little later when they tried to really push. What's it called now? I had a brain fart. Damn it. See, this is the problem. You know you've got something in your head and you see it, but the name is just escaping your tongue, basically.
Yeah.
Was it something that Crunchyroll was pushing or?
Yeah.
Maybe Made in Abyss.
No,
No.
Crunchyroll doesn't have Made in Abyss.
No, they don't.
Oh no,
nor,
that was titled.
nor do I think they would push it.
Shit.
I can't think of it. Eromanga Sensei, that's what I was thinking of.
Oh.
They tried to push that on people that weren't really clued in on what they were about to watch.
Eromanga Sensei is even less an anime that I would recommend as someone's first anime.
First off,
There's a lot of stuff you need to understand before we drop Eromanga Sensei on you.
That's aged down. Emoto. What the hell was that called?
Emo.
Emo. Thank you.
Yeah.
First of all, you should probably watch Emo first, just so you have context for this entire Emoto anime paradigm. Second of all, there's a lot of anime you need to watch before you even get on get onto Emo. There's a lot you need to understand.
That's like if you're in a cult or something. They don't just hit you with the crazy shit first. They just trying to pull you in there.
Yeah, you got to get to a certain level before they tell you about Xenu and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to
That's
be
exactly what
clear.
Because if you come in off the street and they start telling you all this crazy shit, you're gonna be like, really?
Like, I'm not okay even with these E-meters yet. Okay. Anyway.
Yes. Dragon Maid's fantastic. Don't watch it as your first anime because you're not gonna get a whole lot out of it.
Yeah.
They were planning on. Kyoto was planning to do something. We don't know the status of what, unfortunately now, but it was called 20 Seikei Denki Moku Roku, which translates as 20th Century Electricity Catalog. And the cover has a girl in a kimono and one of those like trolley train things. It definitely looks like Showa era.
Okay. I do know that they are doing a Violet Evergarden movie. That's
that's still on track.
Yeah, and that's still on track to be.
Yeah, there's two things. There's the Violet Evergarden Eternity. That's coming out September. That's a spin-off. And then
another movie that comes out next year. It's TBA next year.
Yeah, that's the continuation of that.
Not TBA. It's early next year rather.
Yeah.
I was looking at the wrong release date.
But the one the spin-off, that's pretty much done. That's just that they so which I'm telling you now, that was probably going to do okay when it came, but I can tell you right now that is going to like skyrocket when that comes out.
Oh yeah.
Just because of circumstances.
Right.
So this isn't up any of you guys' alley, and for good reason, maybe, or maybe it is. But you guys didn't mention Free.
Free is actually up my alley. I'll say that much.
Well,
All right.
not only that, but that's I guess because we probably talked about it in the previous one.
Oh,
we kind of talked about it.
Well, which is the one where which is the one Free where they're like where they're like shotos? Because maybe I should see that one.
Starting Days.
Yeah, that's probably it. The movie. Maybe that's what. Because I only saw one episode of the TV series when it first came out. I was like, oh, this is okay, not my thing.
Free is one I still need to finish.
I do know this. The visuals, I got a big kick out of like the ending sequence.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
this weird underwater disco kind of shit going on.
Oh yeah, the underwater gay club, as you said.
Yeah. You half expect to start hearing Culture Club coming out of it.
Hey, maybe Kyoto when they rebuild. Because I'm glad they said they're not going away. By the way,
Of course they're not going away.
Yeah, I
they
didn't
should
think that was gonna happen.
make an anime about traps, and they're all and everyone's a trap. There you go.
yeah.
I'm pretty
So-
sure that would piss off numerous people for various reasons.
Yeah.
True. So
Sad face.
The thing that I find amazing about Free is that it wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know if you guys remember this, but
Oh yeah, there was that animation thing that they showed off, but it got so much.
It got so much traction, and it's like usually studios don't have that sort of relationship with fans to the point where they're going to put in that much money to make not just make like an OVA, but just make an entire series
Right.
about something that they just had these throwaway character designs that they just threw together something for an animation demo, and then they
No,
just actually
that's
made
actually
something out
not
of it.
true because there was a I think it was a manga based on a manga. That's what happened originally. And because it's called High Speed, the original thing.
It's a sequel to High Speed.
All right.
Oh.
Huh. But-
Again, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Nah, you go.
All right. Anyway, it's just like I can't really think of very many studios that have the sort of relationship with fans where they're going to actually put that much effort into something like that. Like the only other like it's unprecedented, but the only other studio I can think of that has that kind of like embracing relationship where they want to be close to fans as much as possible is Studio Trigger.
Yeah.
And I think it's mainly Studio Trigger does that because they know that they don't really have as much of a domestic following.
Right.
So they sort of depend a little bit more on like international audiences for that, but that's a sidetrack.
Kyoto Animation is just such a different animal as far as
Exactly.
anime studios go.
Yeah, they actually pay their animators with a salary.
Living wages.
Yeah. Instead of again, as opposed to like.
Here's some ramen and a toilet.
Yeah. Per drawing.
Yeah, basically like almost a commission style.
Which, I heard that the thing was that was easy when character designs were really simple.
That whole model came from like the Astro Boy era.
Yeah.
Yeah, that when it was
Because they were
Tezuka's era, you could
Yeah.
draw a lot of little, but anime characters got so complex that that's literally like not a feasible way to
Approach it anymore.
Because they were trying to they were underbidding on it. They were trying to sell this so they could actually gain some traction, but then the networks actually expected, "Oh, we're going to only pay these peanuts to you, and then you're going to give us more cartoons." And then they're like, okay." And that it just continued on.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. Well, some of those little shorts were actually really good. The ones, because for a couple of years they had these like, just no other studio has this commercials advertising just themselves rather than, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 'cause they can
Well, we
spend that
should-
money.
Well, we should
Right.
also point out that they sit on their own production committee.
Yeah. Well, now they do. They used to have Kadokawa during the days of like Haruhi, Lucky Star. That was with Kadokawa, which is why you really do not see any more figures of Kiwani stuff. You do not see Nendoroids or Figma. The only exception anymore today would be like Free. But besides that, it's like, I was waiting for like, okay, can I have Mirai from? Nope.
Shut down.
Can I have at least Kumiko from Sound Euphonium? Nope.
Well, we did get a
No,
couple.
we'll give you some Robotech though.
Yeah. It almost made me throw up in my mouth. But no, we did get some really good Amagi Brilliant Park figures.
Yeah, that's
Alter
again,
made this
Kadokawa.
beautiful Sento Isuzu figure. It's one of the
Is that
favorites in my collection.
That's the Kotobukiya one.
That's Alter.
Oh,
Is that like the 1/8 one or whatever?
I think it's 1/8 scale. I'm not 100% sure on the.
I know
on
I've
the
seen
scale
that
right
one.
now.
It's really detailed.
It's really detailed, and the thing that gets me about it is, I don't know what they did, but the skin on it is incredibly soft. Like, it doesn't feel like an anime figure.
Does it feel like a thing of licorice or something? Where it's
Yeah,
like,
it feels like it's. It feels like you're running your hand over like really fine. I want to say felt, but not really. It's smoother than that.
would you
Is it-
say? Oh god.
Is it the Puni Puni thing like they did with that He Is My Master figure?
No, not.
Does that
it's-
come with a gator?
Okay, I found it. It's 1/7 scale.
Yes.
The altar one.
Okay, I was close.
So it's 1/7 scale, and I don't
it
know
has
what they
a-
did. The
It has a felt thing underneath.
Yep.
Like a velvet thing.
yeah, a lot of figures are starting to come with those. They're nice, but at the same time, they increase the figure's footprint significantly. So if you have a lot of figures and you're trying to put them on the shelf, you quickly find that those things aren't of much use to you because.
Yeah. By the way, I'll put it in the chat. By the way, might as well. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they did
Great
with-
Forrester says, "I want a Violent Evergarden body pillow."
Good luck.
Have fun with that. Seriously, not only would it be expensive, but even finding it would be pain in the butt. Probably.
Yeah, it basically feels like it should be like feel like squishy like skin, but it isn't.
Mhm.
I don't know how they pulled it off. They probably have magic at this point.
Well, maybe they're just walking on sunshine. I'm glad somebody did that because I wasn't about to.
But yeah,
Something tells me that's a joke they don't like in Louisiana very much. Because that group is called Katrina and the Waves.
Oh.
I'm gonna get hate mail for that one.
Yeah, I remember these the squishy boob. Here's my master.
yeah, I know like I think it's 2.5 scale of the sister from Orimo, Kirino, has a version with the squishy boobs.
Oh, I have an Nendoroid that with a
That
torso.
also has squishy boobs.
Yes, it's
Interesting.
I-chan.
That's weird.
I-chan from Tawara on Monday.
Huh.
It has squishy, squeezable.
All right. Actually, the stuff like that I get a kick out of is the pads, the mouse pads.
All right.
Oh yeah, the Opie pads.
They're nice
Or
mouse pads.
sometimes, or sometimes it's a raised ass.
You buy it because it has titties on it, but then you keep it because it's actually a nice
Because
mouse
it's
pad.
ergonomic. Yeah.
It doesn't really fly in the workplace, though.
that could be
I
an
can
issue.
see that. Something tells me when you show up at MIT and you plop that down, people are like, "What the fuck is that?"
Well, we could one day make the official NTR Radio Hina Watanabe mouse pads.
Oh, so
it would
just be a normal mouse
just be
pad.
mouse pad. Yeah.
Yeah, was she flat as a board though?
Yes.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, we could add little buds to it.
Something tells me that would actually be more uncomfortable than it just being flat.
VZ, you overthink these things.
Right. Well, I mean, they come up with these things, and we're just here for the ride. I mean, sometimes you'll see, sometimes you'll see kind of strange ones. I mean, it's no surprise you see ones like for like Rias Gremory or whatnot.
Naturally.
But I did laugh when I saw the Miku Hatsune one. It's like,
What?
of all things, this doesn't strike me as the character you would do that for.
Well, was that an official one or a?
I have no idea.
Okay, because that's where you're like not sure if that's.
Anyway,
But yeah, no, you're right, Visa. You don't see a whole lot of figures for KyoAni stuff, which is a shame because, but
They'd
at
sell,
the
for
same
sure.
time,
Oh
the
yeah.
figures we do get are really nice. Like I have a Kyo Fujibashi figure from Clannad up on my anime shelf, and it's a really nice figure.
It's not a KyoAni thing, but I saw a really, really good Sano one from Haganai.
All right.
And not only that, but it was a big one too. So, and somebody I know actually bought it on the last day. They kind of haggled with the person.
Ha.
Oh, that was probably the 1/4 one.
Yeah, it was a big one.
Lights on, please.
1 quarter.
Alright.
You gotta. They do have these quarter scale figures, and I know they have been making them for the Haruhi characters. The
yeah,
quarter scale bunny girl figures with the
Yes.
realistic fishnets.
Oh, yeah.
I have Ryuko, the Ryuko bunny figure, and she does have the realistic fishnets. And her nails are painted.
Nice.
What
Yeah,
is she from?
see, attention to detail. They're
What is she
meticulous
from?
like that.
Mm-hmm.
What is she from?
Kill a Kill.
Oh, Kill. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Does it come with the scissors?
I didn't get that.
No, I said, did it come with like the scissor weapon? Or anything
No.
like that. Okay. Just
No.
curious.
No, because it's her and the bunny out.
Well, yeah, I know, but she still has that. Okay.
If she had the scissors, she would not be in the bunny outfit.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. well, some of them come with accessories.
Yeah. Oh well,
Yeah.
actually, here's one you would want. K-Gods, of course, the price would but I'm posting this one because
Where are you posting it?
in the chat,
I know. Which one?
the NTR Radio chat,
Okay.
or should I put it in the?
It
well,
doesn't matter. Just
Okay.
okay. Oh yeah. That's the Senran Kagura one. I actually saw that one earlier. Of Yumi and the bunny girl, with the top hat and all that shit.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I actually like her a lot as far as the characters from Senran Kagura go.
I'm gonna have to check my email. My distributor might have one of these.
I just
Ah,
want
yeah.
Well, if they ever do my favorite, the
Hmm.
you know which one's my favorite.
Well, don't
Minori.
tell me.
Minori. They should do a
Okay.
Minori from Senran Kagura.
Listen, if Freeing starts doing every single Senran Kagura girl, number one, they're gonna run out of PVC eventually. Like they're gonna sap the world's supply of PVC. People are gonna have to be able to get their
Well,
plumbing pipes.
especially because of all those boobs. I mean, you're gonna have to put some effort on those.
When fucking anime figures get so popular that the world, like the price of PVC just skyrockets.
Well, what's funny about that is
I need to start investing in PVC futures.
during the Cold War, the Soviet Union basically had this giant bomb they were working on called the Tsar bomb,
Oh yeah.
and like the parachute basically they used to drop it, so it didn't immediately kill the people throwing it down.
Yeah.
When it hit, so they had enough time to get out of Dodge. It was so incomprehensibly big, it disrupted the textile industry. I mean, that's... And the thing was, that's only half as big as it was planned to be. Like, it was one of those things where, like, in every simulation and test and idea they had, basically, if they didn't... like even with the parachutes and stuff, no matter how big it was or whatnot, it always killed them in every simulation. The people dropping it even. So it was one of those deals where, that it got to a point where we can't make it that big because the people who drop it won't survive dropping it because they can't get out of Dodge fast enough. I remember reading that and I was like, "What the hell?"
Well, to be fair, it doesn't really take much to like completely destroy an entire industrial sector of the Soviet Union. But all those planned economies.
Well, right, but it's one of those deals where, like, this is kind of impractical, but it was the idea was that it was so big, like laser guiding, aiming, or any of that wouldn't be necessary. You could just throw it in the general vicinity, and everything around there is just basically dust.
And you do mean general vicinity because
Yeah.
it would pretty much wipe out the entirety of the UK.
Oh
Just
yeah,
drop it on Manchester and the entirety.
yeah,
of the
yeah. This thing was. They said again. We're getting on a tangent, but I'll finish it up real quick. Where I was reading it, it said if you dropped it on like New York, you would be able to see it ablaze from Virginia
Yep.
or some bullshit like that. It was like, yeah, and that's the one. That's the big one they actually did make. So it's like, wow. Okay, little Cold War history. Back to anime now.
Yeah.
So they seem to be going forward.
Yes, all signs point to KyoAni still continuing on,
You don't need an 8-ball for that.
which is that's pretty remarkable. Because, like
Well,
they lost their entire first studio. Thankfully, their data was secure.
we should
but-
point out that
But they
That,
got all this money in donations, so they'll be able to continue their enterprise off of that.
there was at least 4 million. I know.
Mm-hmm. I'm just putting in the chat here. Drawing Girl says, "Is that lunch?" Yes.
Lunch.
Yes. I'm just putting in links to some of the
Some of these
1/4
bunny
scale
girl
figures. Yeah, well, this
Right.
one's not a bunny girl, but this one is 1/4 scale.
What was the scale of the Cecilia Alcott one?
The one I have,
Yeah,
that's quarter scale.
I thought so. I actually saw one of those when I was at Acon earlier this year.
They're very nice and very expensive.
Yeah,
That's why I
it
only
was
have
huge.
2 of them.
Yeah, it was pretty huge, and I was like, wow. I mean, it's really nicely made, but I want to buy other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the other big one you have, Anubis?
Rias Grimmery from High School DxD.
Yeah. Oh, here's the one. Gods was talking about. The center one.
We should send that one. We should send pictures of that one to Needy.
Ah.
He'd be happy about that.
But yeah, KyoAni will still be able to maintain their position.
Yeah.
As,
you
as
put-
the 4chan meme, KyoAni finds a way.
But now that you
That's the case. That's really the case. Though.
That's a meme. That's a meme about KyoAni with the picture of Jeff Goldblum. And it's like,
why Jeff
KyoAni
Goldblum?
finds a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of all people, that
Right.
connection. Huh. Yeah, but this Haganai thing you posted, I think that might have been it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
the one.
one for.
Yeah, it was because, and that's the exact one he bought too, because even roughly around the same price.
Yeah. That's a show I wish had another continuation, but
Yeah, I just like the art style. I wish it kind of showed up more.
yeah, I liked that character designers too.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at. Anyway, so if you don't mind, anybody want to go kind of round robin here and talk about their favorite newer one and their favorite older one? I kind of already did my newer one, but
All right. Well, we'll put the line between newer and older at 2013 because that's when we last did this podcast on KyoAni.
that's kind of what I was aiming for.
Yeah.
So I'd say my favorite pre-2013 is, and it's gonna be 2, but they're the same story. They're in the same continuity. Is Clannad and Clannad After Story.
Okay.
Absolute masterpiece of a story in anime, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Favorite post 2013 is probably gonna have to be Amagi Brilliant Park.
I had a feeling you'd pick that one somehow.
Yeah.
That one just it's such a clever show with its humor, with its execution, beautiful visuals,
Mm-hmm.
hilarious characters, hilarious, and I don't know, the whole thing just really came together in just in a very impressive way. It's one I've rewatched a couple times since originally seeing it.
Hmm. Okay, I'll throw out mine then. This is tough, especially on the older one. I almost have to. I have a sentimental soft spot for Air, like I said.
For which one?
Air.
Air. Okay.
But overall, that's probably just because of when I saw it and the circumstances. Not so much the actual show itself per se. So I mean, going off that, I would probably say it's probably either Haruhi or Fumofo of the older ones. And of the newer ones, I really do think it's Sound Euphonium.
For me, no question for the older one, K-On. As far as, because that's, out of everything they ever made, that's still my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love a lot of KyoAni stuff, but K-On has just been like just on that top tier.
It just stands head and shoulders above the rest.
Right. And KyoAni in general stands above most
so
things.
That's like the best of the best in terms of anime.
The newest stuff is kind of tougher for me. I mean, it's either going to be Sound Euphonium or that first season of Chunibo. So,
okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a great series, and if you haven't seen it, I actually do recommend it.
Yeah, Sound Euphonium is really great, and again, really interesting. The like again, if you want to know why Asuka acts the way she is,
yeah,
like,
don't get into that.
Yeah, I do need to watch that show.
Right, but why she's like such the alpha girl, you know?
Right, and not only that, but I mean, hang on a sec, having some technical difficulties. Somebody else go.
I can say that the first season of Chunibyo is very strong.
Right.
Keep it third. How about you?
Okay, yeah, I was about to say. For me, I would honestly say for like the older stuff, like pre 2013. Man, as far as like that would be my absolute favorite, because man, there's so many. I think honestly, just for right now, as of this podcast that I'm going to be committing to, is the 2006 version of Canon and Haruhi, and as far as like the new era, my favorites are Chunibyo and Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
I figured you'd say that. Yeah.
There's no really
also
long
Sound
answer
Euphonium
here,
too.
so.
Yeah, but K-God's already said that. So.
All right, Shinden, what do you got?
So the pre-2013 cutoff, I'd have to say the basics, Lucky Star and Haruhi. Lucky Star really, like, it cemented me into, like, actually embracing the fact that I like anime, because it was sort of like a big denialist thing for me up until, like, that 2007, 2008 mark. Yeah, it is surprising. I wasn't. It was more of a social thing, and it was like, like high school, so I wasn't really like, I didn't want to seem like I was one of those people. But then after that, I ended up joining the anime club and stuff, because it was like, I wanted to learn a little bit more. Because I was into Japanese culture a lot before then, and then but before then, like, the most I would see was like Full Metal Alchemist on Toonami, or my uncle and my grandfather used to watch my uncle used to watch like Betamax pirated Space Battleship Yamato, because he was just like
that's some old school goodness there.
Yeah,
That's actually crazy, because I know my dad used to watch Space Battleship Yamato as Star Blazers when he was a
Blazers.
kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was the reason my uncle was watching it, was because he was like, this is Star Blazers, but Star Blazers was like changed a lot. So that's
Mhm.
why he was watching like these like really poorly subtitled Betamax rips and stuff. But then my grandfather actually watched Ghost in the Shell a lot,
Ooh.
which is kind of shocking. Also, the first titties I saw were Major Kusanagi when I was like 6 or 7.
Well, she's one of my she's a personal favorite, so I get it.
Yeah. It now I know the exact moment where I was turned into a rotten human. But yeah, I actually started to embrace it a little bit more after Kill la Kill, and Haruhi was like the first thing that I started actually watching a lot of. And then afterwards, I'd say Dragon Maid is a major one, and I still need to get all the way through Silent Voice, because I read the one-shot manga years ago, and I saw a little bit of the movie, and I just really need to watch the entirety of that now.
Okay.
Mm.
So they got if you listen to all of us here, it's kind of a spread.
It's a spread, which tells me that KyoAni just generally makes good anime all the time.
Yeah,
There's a sort of misnomer that people they're that studio that only makes the cute girl stuff.
The same face.
Yeah, and it really isn't
No.
Far from.
all over.
I think everybody. It's like, did anybody just see like all the stuff they adapted from Key, or and just nothing else, or?
I don't know. Lucky Star seemed to set off most people in that time.
Yeah, it did. I
a lot
distinctly
of
remember that
people.
pissing a lot of people off.
Yeah,
It
which
was
is
like, this
crazy.
is anime now.
Which
you know-
is crazy because Lucky Star doesn't look like anything else KyoAni makes at all.
And
On
Maid
A-
Dragon too.
Back when they were airing on A, it was like there was a huge contentious issue between like the Gurren Lagann people and the Lucky Star people.
Star people. Yeah, I distinctly remember this.
I didn't have a side on that. I liked both of them, but
Yeah, same. So it's
Yeah,
like
it
one
was
of those...
but it was the stuff like they're pandering to otaku and Konada's dad's admitted lolicon and all that.
it's a very meta show.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
again, these people hate references. They hate like anime that does references because you have to work to know that. The first off, I got most of the references, not everything, but I'm willing. I'm also the type of person willing to learn what they're referencing.
Well, it's like Lucky Star is another one of those shows that I would absolutely not recommend anyone watch for their first anime. It's too.
Unless they want to be able to pretend that they're otaku,
Oh, of course.
in which case it's a training course for otaku.
Yeah.
I just got like this bad visual of like scenes from Full Metal Jacket
Yeah.
in boot camp where they're like where he's fucking just yelling at him and he's like, "This is a waifu."
Actually, come on full circle.
Let me see your upper face.
There's an episode of Full Metal Panic from Ofu like that.
Yes, there
It's
is.
my
Where
favorite
Mao
episode
is
of that
just,
show.
where Mao just like gives Sosuke like this how to abuse recruit.
How to abuse a training recruit.
Yeah, and it's basically him just like screeching at him all kinds of offensive stuff.
The other thing was that people would say, "Oh, the characters, the main girls in these shows were always acting infantile."
Mm-hmm.
Baby waifus.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but let's be real. That was an accusation they threw at anything.
Well,
The girls
here-
in Canon act retarded, which is what otaku men want.
well, let's look at the scoreboard. Kyoto Animation makes hits consistently and
Right.
is one of the most successful anime studios in the industry. Where are all these people?
Yeah. Well, it's
like,
funny
listen,
enough.
Lobbing on
Complain-
Crunchyroll's knob.
Complain all you want, but the numbers speak for themselves.
There's a show coming out.
Kyoto Animation makes excellent anime consistently, and they get rewarded for it. That's what it comes down to.
There's a show coming next season from Madhouse, which is a great studio.
Excellent studio.
But I know just by looking at this that this is going to be like for those type of people, because I can't forget. I'm trying to find the name of it. But this guy has a gun for a head. Oh, No Guns Life. Yeah, a gun for a head, almost like a revolver. The people look ugly, especially the woman here. It's got a lip piercing. It's like, yeah, it's definitely. But those people are gonna go for it because
Or maybe not, because when Redline came out, did so poorly and was so over budget and late that they fired the director, and it contributed to the studio almost having to go bankrupt. So I mean, not to continue beating that dead horse, but let's be real about it. Kyoto Animation makes good anime consistently. Maybe it's not the kind of anime everyone likes, but enough people like it, and it's consistently high quality enough for them to have risen to a monumental level of success within the anime industry and among anime studios. So
I'm posting in the
and that's a good thing for the entire industry. Regardless of where you stand, regardless of what anime you like, the fact that Kyoto Animation can get to this level is a good thing.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, Western fan base fodder if I ever saw one.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I mean, sorry, just laughing at something in there. I actually just opened that link.
No Guns Life.
Yeah, and the first thing I see is the fucking Rorschach wannabe looking dude with the fucking gun head.
Hey, that's a good game on the PC Engine. Is Gunhead.
Gunhead.
Look how edgy I am.
Let's see. Well, Madhouse is interesting because they always attempt to throw out one of these every once in a while.
Yeah.
One of these sort of attempts to sort of cross over and poke the Western audience a bit.
Except it never works.
It usually never works, yeah.
It only worked in the 90s because when the OVA market was coming here, and nobody saw anything like that.
Well, it's like every now and again they're gonna put out something to appeal to the Western fans, which is fine. I just wish the people clamoring for that kind of anime would support it more, because then they would see more of it, and then they'd have a reason to stop complaining all the time. But the thing about Madhouse is they also have to put out regularly a High School of the Dead or a Photokano or a Hana Yamata or No Game No Life to make up for the fact that who knows how much money they're making or losing on these gambles. And again, I'm glad these things exist, because part of the reason I'm into anime is because there's such a diverse range of work out there. But
sure,
from a business standpoint, if you're making your Redline and your No Guns Life and whatnot, you're gonna have to put out Hana Yamata or No Game No Life every now and again to.
This is the otaku have no taste. The otaku have no taste because they just want their waifus.
Well, scoreboard. That's all I can say. Scoreboard.
Yeah.
Listen,
Scoreboard.
As much as people don't like this fact, money kind of runs the industry. So stuff's gonna have to make some money if it's gonna exist at scale.
Yeah, capitalism.
Here's the second thing to that.
Advanced capitalism.
You're gonna stuff's gonna have to make some money for things that fundamentally have a lower chance of making money to exist. So
Yeah, pretty much.
so the fact that
I don't
we're
want to
getting
sound like
gun-
I'm anti-serious animation. I like that stuff too. Don't get me wrong, especially like, you know, the 80s OVAs and all that. But I also know that that's just yeah, as you said, that stuff's just not going to be as big as, you know, the stuff that actually.
Well, here's the thing. All the people clamoring and complaining about wanting that kind of anime need to realize that we don't get No Guns Life without No Game No Life and Hanayamata, High School of the Dead, Photokano, all that. That stuff doesn't exist without
Well, the thing
without
is,
the otaku
there's
pandering
this-
stuff.
there's this misconception that these shows, like the ones you mentioned, basically are siphoning off money that would be toward theirs, and that's not how that actually works.
Yeah, no.
What it comes down to is people need to and there's a couple organizations I could point to for why people are so uneducated about this, but people need to become educated about how the anime industry works, and especially the production committee business model, because that's core to a lot of the stuff people are complaining about. And it's a shame that people who make their entire business model off of the support the industry meme don't actually tell people how the industry works, but that's another discussion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do we have any other kind of stuff we want to discuss about them? I mean,
I think that we're just about good.
Yeah, I wish for the best for the future.
Absolutely.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I have a thing I like to say.
Sure.
Yeah, the Kyoani, yeah, they basically they made some of my favorite stuff, and I'm glad that they're going to be okay. And you know what? And to Yamakan, retire, bitch. Fucking retire, bitch.
Oh, he already said he's gonna retire after his movie.
But I bet he doesn't shut up though.
Yeah.
Is he
Which
going?
is far more of a problem.
Is he going to retire, or is he going to Miyazaki retire,
retire,
which is
yeah.
just be the
I hope
most
he
annoying
retire,
political
retire.
voice in
Yeah,
the industry?
He has his anime movie that's like, Veritaku, that's not for you.
Good. I'm not going to buy it
Well,
anyway.
fine, it's a bomb.
Why
But
just
see,
get
I
this
wanted-
hilarious visual of him saying that, and then nobody.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I want to now see it, but not obviously pay for anything.
I don't. I have no interest in watching.
No, see, this
Don't
I have
hate
to-
watch. It's
I have-
against the rules.
I have to see this thing that he's putting out because it's like, okay, they made such a big deal about this
Yeah,
movie's not for otaku. I have to see now what you made such a big.
No,
No.
the last time I watched something that had that as part of its marketing was the Flowers of Evil anime, and I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy I didn't enjoy a single 5-second spread of that. There's nothing for me there. So
Read the
I-
manga. It's really good.
I do intend to read the manga because I have heard from multiple sources I trust that it's all very good,
They're
or
doing
at the very least, infinitely better than the anime.
They're
Yes.
doing a Flowers of Evil live action movie.
That would probably actually work a lot better than the anime did, quite frankly.
As it
Yeah.
should have been.
So that's weird
But
that they
the-
decided to do that.
I had no desire to watch Fractale. I don't have any desire to do that now. I had no desire to watch Wake Up Girls. I don't have any desire to do that now.
Wake up, girls.
Yamakan's he's a clown. He's a
But
clown.
I made you watch Kanagi Crazy Shrine Maidens.
Yeah, and that was good because he was leashed. He didn't.
He was
didn't have
adapting. No, he
free
was
reign.
adapting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
he was leashed. He had a chain around him. You didn't have free reign to do stupid shit. No, but he's a clown. Big shoes, red nose, rainbow hair, tiny car. He's a clown.
Honk honk.
So,
Works for the Ringling Brothers.
but on a more positive note, Kyoto Animation is going to keep going. There's
and I
no,
had no
there's no
doubt they were.
scenario in which they don't bounce back from this.
Yeah, I mean, I figured right from the get-go that they would ultimately be okay.
They've had so much support from both sides of the pond, as it were, and like even from like usually mutually hostile groups within the anime subculture over here are coming out in mutual support of Kyoto Animation.
Only a few clowns.
There's
Only a few clowns,
certainly been some people with some hot takes, and they've been universally condemned.
Yes.
As they
For the
should.
most part, yeah. And most of it was not even a legit criticism. It was stupid shit.
It's just people trying to get attention.
Bingo. People trying to use
Pretty much, yeah.
use a tragedy.
Some kind of like bizarre fucking Munchausen syndrome or some shit.
Yeah, just trying to use a tragedy to get clout, which is disgusting. Which is kind of what we were talking about ANN doing before the break.
Yeah. Exactly.
In any case, Kiwani forever. We're gonna keep going. I eagerly await what they have in store next.
Right. I'm sure it'll be as good as anything else. Or certainly from a visual standpoint.
You know, I can make some morbid joke about, you know, we didn't start the fire, but Kiwani keeps going on and on and on.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
No,
Save the Billy Joel karaoke for later.
Lucky Star, Harry, Lucky Star,
Yeah. Don't do that.
No, wait,
Yeah.
that movie, though. Anyway.
yeah, Kiwani forever. That's the show.
Kyoani forever.
The email address is ntrradio@gmail.com. The website is ntrradio.net. VZ has a book. It's called The Big Book of Idols. It's at thebigbookofIdols.com. He also does our shirts, which you can find at iyashike.moe/store.
I honestly keep forgetting we have them.
iyashike.moe being where I post my articles and content about otaku culture. Shinikiba.moe is where I sell my half-naked anime girl figures. VZ stuff is at vzmk2moemekagatai.wordpress.com. Listen to the Bakegaijin Show and Otaku Midnight, because both those podcasts are really good.
Even though we haven't done an episode in 2 years.
Yeah. Listen to back episodes.
Yeah.
I still do for podcasts that are like a decade plus.
Hell, I
out of,
re-listen to
like-
stuff.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, go on, dude.
Cubit the Third, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Cube the Third. That is spelled KYUUBETHE 3RD. I'm gonna get a blog. I'm gonna get a blog together soon. This is to be announced, but I should have a little anime blog going on soon. So look out for that.
Absolutely. Shinden, where can they find you?
Can find me at Shinden9. That's Sierra Hotel Indigo November Delta Echo November Niner on Twitter, and that's pretty much where I post for the time being. And I might have some projects coming up in the future, so if you want to follow me there. And yeah, that's pretty much my online presence.
You can find me at TE Anubis, VZ at VZMK2, KGods at Immortal_KGods, the show at NTR Radio. I'm Tom Enforcer Anubis.
K-Gods.
I'm VZ Mark II.
I'm Shinden9.
And this is your old pal Cube the Third.
And even though Kyoto Animation keeps going every time we say it, this is NTR Radio.
Thank you for listening.